are actually going to uncover and study ourselves. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Charles. Hi, Wetzela. Hi, Linda. Hi, Delia. Uh, we have two Charles. I love that. I love that. And we have, oh, I cannot see all the windows. Hi, Alejandra. So nice to see you. This is so good. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. And thank you so much. Happy Sunday. Yay. This is so good. And first of all, I'm really, really grateful and I'm so honored that you guys took time and did the homework. Like I had so many responses and some of the people who couldn't join live because of the time zone issues and all of that, it was so good and so overwhelming in a way that so many of you did the homework, and I'm so pleased. So huge well done for really saying yes to yourself, because all these actions that we take, we are we are getting closer to that vision, to what we really want to create. So I'm so pleased. Really excited. I love you guys. This is so good. And actually, it has really helped me to tailor today's session to where you are, which is incredible, which was a gift. It was so good. And one thing that I really want to share with you before I move on to explaining how this identity shift work. So after trying 8 different strategies, right, I was at the verge of giving up and thinking nothing works. I have tried everything, what I was told on social media. Like, you see the post on social media, this is the way to attract your dream clients. And then you see another post saying, this doesn't work. This strategy is that. So I've been through the whole spiral and nothing is working. And when I started to do this work, you know what I felt? I felt like I'm born again. I felt like I have really connected with myself. I really understand me. I know me. I know who I am. And the weird thing that started to happen was that I was naturally inclined to do things. Like I remember I really felt called to go and do my first live, and I was scared. But the desire in me was like, I want to share this. I want to share the transformation in me. I want to share how things shifted for me, and I feel like I'm a different person. I feel like who I really am. And when I shared that, then I was like, try to do that and do that. And as I started to do things, what I realized was the shocking thing. When I looked back, I actually followed a strategy, full blown strategy. But the beauty is I didn't even realize I was doing one because it was so natural. Like the biggest quantum leaps any human has is in the first 3 years of their life, because their identity is squeaky clean. Those things haven't started to play. So when a child wants to walk, like imagine a baby who can't even move their legs like properly, they can't even stand, they start running. That is a quantum leap. Was there a strategy that they followed? Or they just said, you know what, I'm going to walk, I'm going to run. And they did it. So when the identity is in place, everything works. Whatever you do works, because I love to operate from the identity that I create masterpieces. Whenever I do something, it's not about what I'm doing, it's who you are when you're doing it. That makes the difference. That brings your magic to it. And whenever something has your magic, your belief, your conviction, the right identity, all the forces from the universe, all the universal laws, everything come into play to help you manifest what you want. And you don't chase the strategy, you become the strategy. You are a walking, talking strategy. You are a walking, talking trend. And when people ask you, how are you doing this? How do you do this? You're like, I don't know. That's how I do it. That's how it works. So, what I really want to do is I want to take some of your answers, and I saw a very, very recurring patterns, which is really interesting. And they have been so relatable for me as well. And I'm going to share how they're playing up for you. So, this part of the session is about you getting to know you. Enough of studying the whole world, enough of studying the concepts and the strategies and the ways. Let's study you. Let's really study you. So that's what we are doing today. And after that, as I promised, we will go on the luxury frequency. We will go on the frequency where big money exists, because the title of this masterclass is Big Cash Months. So it's so in sync with that. We will talk about where the big money is, where actually money is getting circulated, and what is the identity of those people. What is their belief system? How are they operating? Okay. And it is available to all of us. So, fun thing that I saw in most of the answers was middle class. And I have had clients who are millionaires. And when they want to go to multi-million, the middle class stops them. I have seen clients who have worked so hard to get to millions, or almost touch millions and then give it away. Like one client who came to me, he was like, I manifested millions and I gave it away as if I stole it. I literally gave it away. Or I had clients who have manifested good money, but feel like their whole life has been a roller coaster ride. Like money has been playing with their emotions, with their identity, with everything. And I have also attracted people, clients in my life, who are like, I work so hard and I don't understand, what am I missing? So this middle class identity is a bar, is a limit on the amount of money that you want to attract. So it's almost like it won't let you go to that abundance level because it's an invisible ceiling. When you are a middle class person, when you identify yourself as middle class, even when you're working hard, you're so intelligent, you know, you have figured out the ways, you have made to some extent, you will always have this thing which will pull you back over and over and over again. Okay, where then it connects to the belief that earning money is a struggle. Of course it's a struggle for someone who is a middle class, because they're not a match. They're not a match for big sums of money, because if you're not a match for something, it's not your natural state of being. So it has to be pushing, struggling, trying to really exert a lot of force, and still feeling like it's costing you your health, it's costing you your peace, it's costing your relationships, all of that, because that's the reality of a middle class identity. So one thing that I would love for you to do while we are going together to really get to know you, it's not about me, it's not about somebody else, it's about you, just you, and knowing you at a whole another level, at a subconscious, unconscious level. Let's ask ourselves, I'm putting this identity down. I'm putting the identity of middle class down. And the first question would be, okay, then what's my identity? And I would like you to stay in the void. You're just putting it down. And as we layer things up, your new identity will come. But let's just put it down. Okay? So if you wanna send me hearts in the chat, if you are putting it down, so I know like you're making a commitment, I'm putting the middle class down. It has taken me somewhere. It's not taking me where I want to go. I have made it this far in middle class, but it's not going to allow me to break through to the level that I really want. So I'm putting it down. I love this. Yay! I love this. This is so good. So middle class is literally like a syndrome. It's something that will keep you where you are. It's like if you write on the phone, I want to go to this place, but you tick in the boxes, make sure you choose the uh, longest route or the hardest route or the most bumpy route. That's middle class. It's going to take you longer, it's going to make it harder. That's the identity. Now the other pattern that I saw was, I will prove myself. Getting rich means I will prove myself. I raising my hand, I was doing all of that to prove myself, prove myself to others. But actually, you know who I was proving myself to? Myself. I was proving me that I'm worthy. Now, what is the problem with this identity? In our childhood, sometimes it happens that we feel unseen, we feel misunderstood, we feel unheard, we feel like nobody's seeing who I am. Every time it's about achieving. Love is about earning. Like I have to earn it, I have to prove myself, I have to work hard. When did we get good grades? When we worked hard. When did we get lots of applause? When we work hard, when we did something to prove ourselves. And what starts to happen is, as we grow up, we start to treat ourselves the same way. Now we are not proving ourselves to other what it feels like. We're actually proving ourselves to ourselves. And unfortunately, no amount of money can change that. No amount of money can make you love yourself more. And when I manifested my first money frequency, and I overestimated what money can do, right? And I thought, if I have my if I have that, then I love myself more. Everything will be perfect. I'll get more fulfillment, more attention. But what I was so disappointed that nothing much changed, because money cannot change that. So now we are tying money as an approval, because previously it was grades, then it was doing things, then it was doing chore around the house, doing this. Now it's money. When you earn money, you will prove yourself to yourself. And it feels like you're proving it to the world. Now, the problem with this identity is you are operating with the identity that I am not enough. I am not worthy. And the whole reason I'm attracting money is to prove that I am. But the whole foundation where it's starting is it's starting from not being a match. So that means that in your being, which is your feminine receiving, and it doesn't matter what the gender is, feminine is applicable, feminine is available to men, and feminine is available to women, masculine is available to men and women. But the feminine energy becomes the least utilized energy on the planet because the being is missing. I receive because of who I am is gone, because I have to prove myself. So the fact that you receive because who we are is doesn't exist. Now the whole reliance is on the doing part. Now you have to push. Now you have to convince people. Now you have to work really hard. Now you have to find a way. And how does it show up in your business? The way it shows up in your business is, let's say if you do sales calls or discovery calls or whatever calls, right? You will go with the assumption they're not going to work with me. I need to push it because I'm not a man. Why it is not given that you will attract clients no matter what? Why is it not given? Why is this a question? So I have been studying this obsessively over a long period of time. And one thing, the difference between people who are wealthy and people who are not is, for wealthy people, it's given is going to work. Why is it that when Tiffany stores or when Chanel open their store, they are not saying you get buy one, get one free? They are not convincing people. They are not convincing people from the outside saying, come in our store, please. You will find incredible things. No. In fact, not too long ago, I wanted to buy one of the bags. I think it was from Michael Kors or something. And they were like, oh no, Guess. It was from Guess. And they were like, you cannot go in right now. There's a queue. You have to wait half an hour. They didn't beg me to come. In fact, I had to stand in for half an hour in a queue to be qualified to buy their products. Why is that? Because the fact that they will attract money is given. It's not a question, because they don't need to prove anybody. So what I see, if we look at a deeper level, what we are seeing with most of the people is we are seeking validation. Validation from money, validation from other people, validation from people saying yes, validation from clients, validation from everything else. And instead of us validating us, we are putting it on the outside. And when you're putting it on the outside, your validation is always at stake. And the problem is, because of that, the people who we attract in our life, they don't validate themselves. So how would they validate you? They don't even have that. Like, you're asking them for something that they don't even have for themselves. So let's say if you are saying, I want to attract these clients, and you go on a call, or you send a post, or whatever you're doing, whatever business you have, and now those people don't validate themselves, so they don't want to invest in them, and you are seeking them giving you the validation that you don't have. So two people are seeking for validation, and none of them from each other, while none of them have that. So how can somebody validate you when they don't even validate themselves? This is the problem. We are seeking it from the outside. And this is where we'll beautifully connect the concept of VIP and the luxury to understanding how validation and enoughness plays a huge role. Because when you're not validating yourself, when you want to post on social media, right? Your initial assumption was, I don't matter. I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. So the frequency of your post is, I am not enough. And people are reading your energy way more before you even talk, before you even express anything. Other people can intuitively pick your energy straight away within nanoseconds, because we have a higher faculty called intuition, which picks other people's energy before they even say a word. So people are picking up, this person is not enough. So when the post falls flat, why? Because the frequency behind is, I don't matter. I know nobody's gonna watch it. I know nobody's gonna see it. When somebody says, okay, I'm really interested in your product, you give them a link, they want to buy, and then they don't respond to you. All of a sudden you have this look, nobody buys. Nobody want to work with me. Nobody wants to experience my product because it's not good enough. I'm not good enough. So and I saw a very big pattern in the questionnaire, what I asked you guys, that my energy ping pongs from 3D. Like when I look at my physical reality, my energy ping pongs. Like even if I set myself a goal, like I would love to do that. And then when I look at my outside, the whole frequency is gone. And now I want to give you a huge breakthrough. It's not the physical reality that is controlling you. It's not. Because if I give you an example, wherever you are, like if you are in like where it's morning, or if you are where it's nighttime, wherever you are right now, if it's morning, you know it's going to be night. And if it's nighttime, you know it's going to be morning. So if I say to you, I cannot see any proof in the sky that it's going to be night. So I cannot see in proof in the physical reality. I don't see anything telling me it's going to be night. And you would say to me, no, I know it's going to be night. I know. Why? Because you know. Why? You have unwavering faith that it's going to be night after morning, because you know. It's not because it's going to be in the physical reality. Similarly, when you are walking down the street or when you get out of your home, you trust gravity, but you have never seen it. Have we seen gravity? Do you know what it looks like? What is the color? Does it work all the time? We have never seen it. But the reason we have unwavering faith is because we know. So it's not your physical reality that is controlling you. It's your knowing about you that is controlling you. Because your current identity is not supporting. So when the things happen in the physical reality, you are just using that to validate what you know. So you're like, I know nobody's gonna buy. I know. I knew it. I'm doing this. What's the point? It's not going to work. I want to start this thing. I'm not completing it. I have this beautiful offer, but I'm not sending it out. I want to start work on this business project, but I'm not going to do that because I know. So what is really controlling you is not your physical reality. What is causing the ping pong in your energy is not the physical reality. It's the identity which gets validated from the physical reality that controls. So and all the things, when you see like the things that play up with money, they're coming from the patterns in all areas of your life from your childhood. So I had this client of mine who came to me and who was like, whenever my business increases, I never experience the money because it somehow leaves. And I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. That was his thing. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't understand what I'm missing. I've done so many manifestation courses. I don't know what's going on. And I'm done. Like I'm waiting, but when it's gonna happen? And what we realized was when he was growing up, he did not receive the love and attention from his family. They were not there for him. As a result, he started to feel subconsciously that he's not worthy. And whenever he did anything in his in his business. He always self-sabotage himself from the fact that he's not worthy. So he wasn't doing it on purpose. He was trying really hard. But he somehow every time stopped right when he was close to the breakthrough, when he was close to the change. Not only that, what we uncovered was he let go the love of his life because he thought he's not worthy. So he was never present for her. He never gave her the right time, and she left. And he has never loved anybody more than her. So we see like how we actually play this with ourselves. And the reason we do it is because we treat ourselves the same way that we are treated in our childhood. So when we uncovered that, which he couldn't understand after decades of doing different courses, and the reason being because in manifestation courses, you study manifestation, but manifestation is working all the time anyway. Even if you have no clue about manifestation, it's working for you. It's working 24/7. So what I really focus is not on manifestation, but becoming a match. Do your part, because manifestation is not even delayed 0.00001%. It's right on time, like the planets are going through the the solar system, like the earth is revolving. There is no delay in the universe. So why are we so consumed with studying the outside instead of really getting to know who we are and becoming a match? So when he figured that out, which he couldn't for decades, and it was costing him his time, his everything, he went from like literally manifesting 1 million to 5 million contracts. So his contract started to go from 1 million to 5 million. And within 6 months, he 5x'd his income. And now he's going to another heights. Because now when he go for negotiations, he knows it gets to work for him. It's not a question of he needs to push. It's not a question of he need to try harder. It's not a question of he needs to really give a lot of effort. It's a question of it's going to work. Why? Because he's worthy. Why? Because he's a very important person. So is every single human on the planet. Why? Because he became an energetic match of attracting people who believe they're important, and they were happy to exchange his services. They valued him because he valued himself. So when we are told so much strategies like try this and say this, use this template, but none of that lands because the identity doesn't match. The identity, the frequency screaming, I'm not enough. I need to try that. I need to do that. I'm not enough. So everything falls flat. And that's what I was experiencing in my journey, that I tried everything that everybody told me. But I wasn't the person I was manifesting. I wasn't a match. So the other thing what I notice is I am moderately successful. I picked that up. I'm moderately successful. If you see yourself moderately successful because your success is reliant on the outside, what you achieve, how things were, how much money you earn, then it's at the disposal of the outside. And it's like until you know you're successful right now, you will not attract the success. And even if you attract it, it's going to leave. Because you don't have the energetic capacity to hold. So the biggest breakthroughs that I've helped my clients with, like this thing, this moderately successful and successful, has been 100% in every single person I've worked with. The realization that you are successful right now. Right now, you're successful. This is everything. And it's not just about, okay, I'm going to visualize and I'm going to see myself with the things that make me successful. No, in your present reality, you are successful. And when you wear that lens, all of a sudden you start seeing the success. Because I've also come across clients and people who have attracted millions and still don't feel successful. Because if we think money will give us the feeling of being successful, no. If you feel like a failure, sometimes money will amplify and you feel it all the time. We are expecting money to do a lot of things, which it doesn't do. Okay? And the other thing, what I've seen is that I have to work harder and I have to over deliver. This is a big one because there is always fear of losing. Why? Because what you're saying is, I'm not a match and I work really hard to get to here, but what if I lose it because I'm not a match? So there is a slippery surface where the success can slip because you're not a match. It's not grounded in place, right? So what are the other ones I saw, which I really wanted to... Okay, the huge one, which is really, really powerful, is the trying new things and going all in. You know how most of us manifest? We say to ourselves, I would love that. But let me try if it's going to work. I'm going to try. I'm going to test the waters. But actually, what we're thinking about is, what if it doesn't work? And the reason we are constantly figuring out the how, instead of going all in and saying, you know what? Let me go all in, give it all my heart, my soul, my love, my passion. Let me just create from the core of me. What we try to do is we try to find ways to make sure that it does work. We are pushing it because we are too scared that we will fail. We are too scared to fail. Because if we fail, what's going to happen if we fail? We will be disappointed. If we fail, we will be disappointed. And disappointment is the biggest receiving wound that we have. I don't want to be disappointed. So I won't do it. I don't want to be disappointed, so I will not even try. I don't want to be disappointed, so I will not even see what I'm a match for. And this biggest receiving wound of disappointment is costing us trying anything, manifesting the things that we can literally have it with so much ease. Because disappointment is a big, big feminine receiving wound. And how does it show up for us? How does it control us? So when you were little and you were told, on the weekend, we will go to that. We will have fun. We will go to that place. And what you realize was it has been 30 years and it has never happened. Or you will get that toy and you never got it. And you felt the pain as a child. And now that child is protecting you from disappointment because it want to make sure you're not disappointed. So let me think of the worst case scenario, because when the worst case happens, at least I'm right. At least I was right. It wasn't meant to happen. At least I knew it wasn't meant to happen. Because we don't want to be disappointed. What happens if it gets to be so much better that you could ever imagine? But we don't want to go all in. We don't want to jump all in. So let's create an example. Let's say that I send a post out, and you can apply to your situation. I'm just giving a very specific example. I send a post out and invite people to my program. And one part of me is saying, what if nobody joins? And then what I start doing was I start cold DMing people. And I say, did you look at the post? Like, I've just created about my program. Do you want to join it? Why am I doing that? And then I start DMing more people. And now I'm controlling the situation. So instead of focusing on being the best of me, expressing myself, sharing my heart, sharing my gifts, really being in my power, what I'm really focusing on is not to have the pain. Because if nobody joins, I will be disappointed and it will hurt. That creates mediocrity. That's why when people are reaching out on DMs and you're like, oh, so annoying. Why are people doing that? And I'm not saying DMing is bad. I'm just trying to show you how we overplay the doing part to avoid the pain, but we never really go all in with all our heart and all our soul and all our love and all our energy and the masterpiece passion, like, yes. Because what if it doesn't work? You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. No, but I want to make sure that it works. So are you focusing on winning or not to lose? And that creates ordinary results. That creates, sometimes we don't even try the thing, because if I try it and it doesn't work, it's going to hurt me. I might as well not do it, because then I'll be right. It wasn't supposed to work. So these things are playing up in every day in our lives, every single day. Every single thing that you do, your mind is very loyal to your identity. When we have this identity, we have to work really hard, being a middle class. Then your mind will make sure you're working hard. And if you're not working hard, you're not going to have the results, because that's for identity. So now what I really want to share with you is how to shift your identity. That's where all this work gets to work for you. This is really powerful. So in my program, Wealth Fountain, what I do is I have this method called Breakthrough Method, where we use 5 different tools, because what we did here is literally scratching the surface, because the work that we do takes a few weeks, right? Where we go through every part of your identity, where we get your body parts, your throat, your stomach, your heart, everything to talk to you, where we start using a lot of tools to uncover what is your identity at the deepest level. And the beauty of that work is that I don't agree with the fact that you just have one money block. Because when my clients do this work, they have 97, 100. When I did this work, I think I had 107 or 100, something like that. And I know it sounds like, oh my God, that many. But what I massively believe in is that there is every part of your identity that can be lifted to activate the most abundant version of you. It's like, when we're talking about when they do the biohacking, they're saying, let's elevate your heart. Let's have a whole full-blown approach to optimize every part of your body. This is what we do with your money consciousness, because there is more optimization no matter where you are. So we look at because it's not that there is one block and when you remove it, it's going to work. We take all of them and we remove it, which is so powerful. That's when you experience the rebirth. That's when you experience like, oh my God, I'm really being me. I get to be me. So the beauty of this process is that this identity shift takes seconds. It doesn't take long. And that's where I want to share with you how you can start putting that identity down in seconds, right? So these are the 3 steps that I use to put your identity down and embody the new one. So after doing the uncovering your identity, what we do is we use vision into being scripting method. And I want to share some parts of you, which is really, really powerful, where you are saying, okay, this is the awareness piece, right? That this is my identity. I identify myself as a middle class person. Okay, or identify myself as somebody who needs to prove myself, or identify myself somebody who needs to work really hard and sacrifice. Okay, and who has to sacrifice the time spent with my family, with my kids, whatever your identity is. You take that from the lens of, which is really important, that your identity is not, you're not married to it. It's not who you are, it's how you see you. So you're not changing who you are. This is really important. You are not changing who you are. You are changing the way you see you. There's a huge difference. It's like wearing an outfit. You wear the outfit and you're like, yeah, I like this, but I think it doesn't take me where I want to go, so I'm just going to change it. You are not changing anything about you at all. You're changing the way you see you. And you realize that I am a spiritual being having human experience. There is perfection within me, and my mind is a center of divine operation. So there is pure energy operating through me, and I can create anything I want. But all these identities and labels, I can peel them off, because it's not me, it's how I saw me. And then in the first part, the first step of the process of the third three-step process is thinking. You change it at a conscious and logical level. If you don't involve logic, your conscious mind will cancel it. That's why when people do affirmation and they're like, I am rich, and all of a sudden you have this inner voice saying, no, you're not. You're not rich. And I had this guy who used to work with me, and he was really inspired with this information, and he did an experiment. So he started affirming, I am a millionaire, I am so rich. And he was experimenting with what I teach, because I was saying a lot that affirmations don't work until you do these 3 steps. So when he did that, every time he felt lack. And as a result, he started to experience that people were scamming him, he was losing money. So sometimes affirmations can have a negative effect if you don't do these 3 steps. Okay? So the first one is you think at a logical level. Very, very logic. And thinking is the highest function that we are capable of. Bernard Shaw, who is a very well-renowned psychologist, he said that 3% people think that they think, 95% people rather die than think, 95% people rather die than think, and 2% people actually think. So what we are doing is what 2% people do. Think. Okay? Thinking that, is this really me? Using the logic parts. Like, is it true for everybody that they need to work hard? Like, is it the universal truth? So when I did the thinking work, so in my programs, what I do is when you uncover your identity, your current identity, I coach you one-to-one on this piece. And it's my gift. I've done it with more than 500 people. I literally peel it off in seconds, like boom, boom, boom. So I want to share with you some of the examples. Like when you say to yourself that I have to work really hard, what I realized was that there is a part of you, that there is this unleashed, unapologetic, this magical part of you. And what we really want to do is we want to start seeing it, and we want to get in the zone where it's activated, where it's like we bring our magic in the picture. That's when hard work doesn't give the results. It's like you start to channel the greatest things. You start to bring the things where your human is shocked, like, what is going on? How am I saying that? And I want to share with you a beautiful story from Think and Grow Rich. So there was this guy who wanted to manifest. He was I think in education space, and he wanted to manifest $1 million at that time in 1900s. In 1900s, $1 million was a lot of money. Okay. And he wanted to manifest that for charity, so he could start a new education system. Okay. And he kept saying to himself, how can I do $1 million? It's a lot of money. We're not talking about 2024. We're talking about 1900s, a lot of money. And he started to really visualize, and still he couldn't get behind it. One day he had this shift where he's like, you know what? The money is already here. And he was so inspired. Again, it wasn't hard work. It was more like in his body. He got this intuitive hit that I want to do a session, a huge seminar where I invite people and tell them why I want this money. I just invite them. And he wrote a speech, and he invited them like the next day. He did it really because it was intuitive hit. He immediately acted on it. And then when he went to the ceremony, he realized he has forgotten his write-up. So he has no paper where he wrote. And people are already there. Everybody is already there. Now he doesn't have enough time to go home and bring it, because everybody's not going to wait for him hours to bring it. So what he did was he went on a stage, and all of a sudden he realized that his subconscious took over, and he didn't even know what's going on. Like he went in a zone, in like it's like a place where it just started flowing through him, and he delivered the whole speech. Imagine, like, if you want to deliver a speech to so many people and you forgot your paper, you forgot your notes, you forgot what you were supposed to say, like you don't have the write-up. And he started saying the things and delivering. He said it felt like I was like, there was something bigger than me that was just like delivering it in my form. And when it felt like he was in a trance state. And he when he delivered that, somebody in the audience said, come to my office and take $1 million from me tomorrow. Like, I'll transfer it to you. This is the power of getting in the zone. Like, if you think of the songs, right, where they get billions and billions of views, is it hard work? Or is it like when you listen to that song, you're like, it's touching my soul. I can see it. I can feel it. It's so good. It's activating something in me. And you feel that frequency, and then you listen to it over and over again, and that song gets billions of views. The masterpieces are not created from hard work energy. It's created from magic money frequency. It's created from the frequency where it's like there is something bigger which is channeling it from you. Like when people write books, like my kids are really into Harry Potter nowadays, right? And if you look at like the books, I think 500 million copies are sold. What kind of book is that? What kind of story is that? The masterpieces are never created from hard work energy. They're created from, they flow through you because you are a clear channel for that energy, for that guidance, for that intuitive hit to come. And that one action is equal to 1,000 actions. But for that, you have to release and peel off, because right now that guidance is coming. Right now, that inspiration, that thing from inspired, your spirit is coming, but we are not able to listen because there's so much else going on. There's so much other conversations and narratives going on. So when I realized that, it's like, I don't need to work hard. I just need to see who I am. I just need to see myself in that frequency, and things start to shift. So this is what I do in the one-to-ones, right? Where I take every bit of you and I just peel it off, peel it off, peel it off. And you have so many breakthroughs, like here, there, then you're like, oh, yeah, it's all down. So once you have put that identity down, we are literally putting it down. Let's put it down, okay? We deal with it at a thinking level, which is only 2% thing. So you're already in the 2% population. Congratulations. 95% rather die than think. So we are not, we rather live than think, right? We rather live. So then once you have dealt with it at a logical level, you go in the reprogramming your subconscious. Now, the way subconscious get reprogrammed is that you have to feel it. But if you haven't done the logical part first, your feeling would get cancelled every time and you feel the opposite. So logical part is the foundation, and then you feel it. When you're feeling it, your neurons, literally the cells in your mind, are reprogramming. You know, the biggest way to shift a belief instantly is if you feel it so much. So the reprogramming subconscious is repetition and feeling. You multiply, both of them multiplied. So if you add feeling more, you would need less repetition. And if you add repetition more, you need less feeling. Now, I really wanted to shortcut the process because I don't like I don't want to work on my identities forever. So I said, what if I take on that identity, that I change my beliefs in an instant, that I change my identity in an instant? And as I started doing was my mind trusted me more. And it's like, I know whatever you think, you do it. You are it. I know. So you can start to do it instantly, even the feeling part, not just the thinking part, but the feeling part. But the feeling comes with you really connect with it emotionally. And the key is here not act as if or trying to fake it. The key is, what is your truth? Who are you? What is your truth? This is where the feeling part comes in. When you say, you know what? I am seeing who I really am. And I actually use a method called identity activation method, where I use all the 3D around you to activate your new identity. So instead of 3D controlling you, 3D reminds you, and it's really powerful. Okay, so the next thing, what we want to do after that, the third step is solidification, where you act in alignment and you solidify it, where you're like, yes, this is who I am. But if you don't do the first and second, when you act in alignment without doing the first and second, you will go back to the old. So it's really important to look at the first and the second and then act in alignment, solidification. So let's say now you realize that when you are in the zone, when you are in that frequency, you create from that place. Now you start taking on the identity that I am magic. I create and I attract a lot of money from that place. And then what you start to do is you start to create things from that energy. You start to act in alignment and you start to see those things coming in the physical. And you're like, whoa, this is who I am. And when you do this process, you never, ever, ever go back to the old pattern because you have rewired everything. Okay. But the key here in all of this is that you want to focus on the thinking, the logic. You want to focus on the feeling. If all those two things are intact, you will be naturally acting towards it. So action will be so much easier. You will naturally, like I was naturally guided to be what a coach does. I was naturally guided to do those things, to be that way, to be bold, to be expressive, to share my gifts, to be in that frequency. Why? Because that's who I am. And one day I remember I was making myself a coffee and I had this huge realization. I was like, isn't it what we are seeking for? To be who we really are? Like, is this not what we are seeking? So when we say, I want freedom, I want money freedom, I want time freedom, or this freedom, what we're really saying is, I want freedom to be me. To be me. Okay? Now, when we start to do this work, there is a very powerful frequency, which is VIP frequency, which is right opposite of I'm not enough. And I want to take you there with me. And this work is almost going to open your mind. And as you start to go through your day, go through your life, you'll be like, yes, I see that. I see that. And you start to embody it and you start to take it on. And it's such a beautiful experience. Okay. So where is one identity which only certain percentage on this planet know, and they have all the money, not because they're playing some tricks on us, not because they want us to be broke, none of that, just because they know. We all are, but they have become aware. They have acknowledged that. And that is the frequency of VIP frequency. I am a very important person. I am a very important person. And you are too. But maybe some people have not recognized yet. So the difference between those people and the rest of the planet is they have recognized it and other people haven't recognized it. That's the only difference. Okay? Now, when two people who know they are worthy, right? When they transact, when they attract each other, a lot of money is being circulated. Let's look at why. So let's say you decide today, you know what? I'm a very important person. And I'll show you how to really embody that. But let's say you embody that, you decide that, okay? Now, when you create something, you will not create from the energy of it's not going to sell. Let me try to find ways to do this. Like you're not operating from the place of pushing, you're operating from the place of pulling. I attract. Why you attract? Because you're a very important person. Why you get to sell it? Because you're a very important person. Why you are an incredible marketer? Because I know I saw that in a lot of questionnaires. I'm not good at marketing and selling. When you are an important person, you see your value. You attract people who see your value. This is called sales. What is selling? I've created something valuable. Why? Because I am valuable. Okay, when I'm on that frequency, I'll attract somebody who will reflect me my value and who will pay me my value, and they're actually also valuable. So the way this puzzle can work is you have to take a decision. I am valuable. not putting your value on other outside things. You decide, I am valuable. My work is valuable. My message is valuable. My mission is valuable. My purpose is valuable. My posts are valuable. I am an important person. That's why I value what I say. I value my relationship. I value my life. I value my time. I value my health. I value everything. And it's not hard work. It's natural because I'm valuable. So when I'm experiencing something, I experience great things. I don't feel guilty. So I saw in the questionnaire, a lot of people said, I feel guilty of attracting money because other people don't have it. You have acknowledged you are valuable. And when you acknowledge that, it will help other people acknowledge that. Because you cannot give other people what you haven't got for yourself. So you're not helping them if you don't acknowledge it for yourself. Okay? So I am a valuable person. I am valuable. Okay? And then what starts to happen is you start to attract those people who pay your value. You're not pushing, you're not giving discounts, you're not chasing. You're not finding the right tactic, the right template. What do I say? How do I say it? Do I need to use this word? Can I do this? No, because you're valuable. You're valuable. It gets to work for you. Why is it that when Apple launches a product, they are like, oh, we run out of stock and you have to wait in the queue for 24 hours? Why? We say it marketing technique, but actually they know they're valuable. They know it's going to sell. So why is it that even when we start our business, the first thought is, even this whole narrative, how to get clients, is based on the frequency. I'm not valuable. People are not going to come. So how do I get them? Can you see like how this whole narrative is wrong? Why don't we start with the assumption that it will work anyway? It's given because I'm worthy. So if you look at people with wealth, that is given for them. They don't question that. Why it's given for them? Because that's the consciousness that has been passed to them. They have seen their adults things working for them, their generations things working for them. So it's not that you need money to make money, which I saw a lot of you agreed with that. So I'm picking that up as well. You need the wealth consciousness to make money. It gets to work with you now. And when you have that assumption, let's see in the practical terms how it plays. It gets to work for you now. That means you will create a product. Your mind will create whatever you're creating, which will say, you know what, it gets to work. So I create from the right energy, the right thing. So naturally, your subconscious will guide you to create the right thing and to do the right thing. If you're creating with the assumption it's not going to work, what would you create? You will work hard to create the thing that doesn't work. You'll work really hard for it. But what's the assumption? How do I get people to buy it? Oh my God. Can you feel it? Like it's like so hard and so intense. And the other is it gets to work. So the thing you're creating would work. And it will be of that value and quality and the right frequency and the right message and the right thing. And then people who see your value, because you see your value first, will be attracted and they will pay you the money that's the value of the product or the service or whatever that you're selling. So once I was on Instagram and I saw a picture of Ronaldo buying a $1 million watch. There was a watch, it was gold diamond plated. Actually, they had like diamond stones and all of that. And it was a 1 million watch. My first instinct was, oh, look, he's because that's not now. That was like a year ago almost. I was like, oh, look, he's showing off. But then I thought, because I was embodying that work really deeply, I was like, you know what? This is actually he is transacting value with value. And when two valuable people meet and transact, millions are circulated per transaction. So the guy who made $1 million watch, I don't remember his name, is Jacob or something. I think it's Jacobs. That's the name of the brand. He's obsessed with his watches. Like his watches are incredible, but if you see his obsession with his watches, you get to become obsessed with his watches because of how obsessed he is. Like, you see his conviction, his love, his passion, his soul screaming from the Instagram page. Like, if you scroll through that page, you will fall in love with his watches just because he's in love with his watches. That's the power of value, when you value yourself and you value your creation. And he was obsessed with his craft. Was he working hard? Was he working hard versus the labor who is working like in a strong heat, 10 hours a day, 20, 15 hours a day? No. He's an artist. He has an art which he's absolutely in love with. So he was exchanging that value with Ronaldo, who also believes he's valuable. That's why he's always raising the bar. That's why he's doing the right things. That's why naturally he comes from the place of, I value my art, I value my sport. It's not hard work, it's natural. This is who they are. And when those two people exchange their value, what got circulated? Millions. This is where money lives. You valuing you equals lots of money. Why didn't that guy say, how the hell I can price this watch for 1 million? Who's going to buy it? Ronaldo bought it. Why Ronaldo bought it? And of course, because it was a very expensive transaction, he came to deliver the watch, which is fine, right? If you're getting paid 1 million for it, you can pay the transport. I don't know what the transport is, whether he flew or he came in the car, I don't know. But why Ronaldo paid? Because he saw the value. But what did Ronaldo saw? A reflection of his value in him. Can you see? Like, if you are finding people questioning your prices, questioning you, questioning your work, they're just reflecting what you see. And if you are someone like me who tried for 2 years to find the strategy that can cover it up, all the best. I've tried it for 2 years, didn't work until I did this work. So there is no strategy that can cover it, that can hide it for you, because you attract your value. You attract the value that see you. Now, your inherent value is infinite. But what you change is the way you see you. That's what we are changing, which is effortless, because you're not changing anything about you. I don't want you to change anything about you, please. If you came to this masterclass thinking, I want to change something about me, no, we don't want to change anything about you. You want to change the way you see you. And when you change that value, you attract people who see that, who reflect it, and they have that, and they value your work. They value every single piece of your art. They watch it on repeat. They do it on repeat. They're obsessed with it. That's how big brands are created. That's how big businesses are created. That's how big movements are created. That's how impact is given. Because if you have greatest gifts, but you don't see your value, nobody sees your value, you see the reflection, how can you impact anyone? So it's the game of one shift. I am valuable. The identity shift. I am valuable. Now. I am successful now. Not when things shows up. So how many of you are declaring, I am valuable now? There is nothing outside of me which will validate it, because if you're waiting for it, you're asking for those people to value you who don't even value themselves. How can you expect something for somebody when they don't even have it for themselves? How can they give it to you? And if you want to attract people who value you, your work, your gifts, your business, you have to do it first. You go first and the universe follow. You go first and people follow. You have to go first. So what if we enter 2025 with the energy that I value me? I'm not hiding behind the templates. I'm not hiding behind the strategy, and I'm not trying to say strategies is right. When you value yourself, everything will work. Everything will work. But you're not hiding behind it now. It's time to face it. You value you, full stop. And you know the funny part, the most interesting part, whether you value you or you don't value you, in the inherent terms, your value doesn't change because you're so valuable. You're born valuable. Nothing changed. So it's a matter of you accepting it, but even whether you accept it or you don't accept it, inherently it doesn't change your value because you are valuable. You were born like that. The highest form of creation in this entire universe. But nobody can give it to you. Nobody. So while I was working on the last, on these 2 sessions, there is still so much. Like literally, when I was preparing it, I was like, I want to add this, I want to add this, I want to do this. And literally, like I was fighting with myself, and I literally feel like going on and on and on about all these principles, about all this work, about helping you really embody that identity and really peel off the things that don't serve you. But you know what? There is only so much I can give it to you right now, because no matter how much I try to put it all in, it has to end. So what I thought was, I will share with you the containers where you can have ultimate identity shift. And I have literally people come in those containers, and after the steps, I feel like they're a different person. It's like when I speak to them, it's like, are you the same person? Like, what has happened to your energy? Like, when you're told in different courses, you need to believe it, you need to know, you need to have the conviction, this is the answer. Because without this, everything falls flat. So what I would love for you to do is, if you want to deepen this conversation and if you want to really reclaim who you really are, that means, first of all, uncovering at a whole new level where you're not seeing your value, where you're blocking yourself, where your value has been faded. Because remember that it's not going to change your value, it's just you need to see it. And secondly, how to design and activate your most abundant self. That means not the biggest lie we have been told is that you need to be somebody else. You know what? You are faking it right now. That's what I've learned. Because I didn't know who I was. So of course I was faking it. But it's time to not fake it. It's time to step into your truth. Who am I? So it's about designing and asking your heart and really creating. So I have a really powerful tool called Vision into Being Scripting tool, where you design that version of you. And then through the identity activation, you activate that fully, where you become your truest self, because already you are a match for love, money, greatest health, everything that you think for. You're naturally a match. Why are we working so hard when this is natural? This is as natural as breathing. I want you to attract money as naturally as you breathe, because this is your truth. So this is the game of you becoming you. And because when you become you, you are a masterpiece, and you circulate money, you receive money, you attract money. And this is the greatest delight, not the money part, but becoming you part. So this is what I teach in Wealth Fountain. Wealth Fountain is a very closed and a small group, because the reason I keep it really small is for strategic purposes, because I want you to experience a very deep identity shift. So the way I teach it is in very, very small groups. You get 2 hours of my time every single week, where we work on your identity and follow a step-by-step process, which is incredible. Right? And the other thing, if you are saying that you want to get access to all my tools, then there is another program. It's called Bottomless Bank Account, right? So in Wealth Fountain, it's live coaching. You implement the work with me. You do every step of identity activation with me. You use the breakthrough method where you really go deep in uncovering where you're blocking yourself. Then you design your identity, activate it, and you get 2 hours of my time every single week to do all those steps. And you have 2 one-to-one sessions with me, and it's 2,222. And it's incredible. Like, I have seen people literally changing the trajectories of their life in huge ways, like manifesting crazy amount of money, greatest relationships, and everything shift when we start doing that. And initially people come for money, to attract more money, but what they realize is, oh my God, this is a whole new frequency of life. So that's Wealth Fountain, and Bottomless Bank Account is instant access to the breakthrough method, instant access to the Vision into Being scripted method, which is 222. Sorry, it's 222. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the link of both the programs. And that's all. So if you have any questions, anything, you can of course email it to me as well. But before I finish, I want to ask you guys, do you have any questions? Is there anything you want to ask? Oh, where did it go? Okay, this is my email, and this is the link to both the programs. Is there anything you want to ask? Is there anything you want to, any questions you have? Yeah, these are links to both the programs. Yay, I love this, Alejandra. I love this. This is so good. Yeah. So this is my email address. So we are going to announce the winners in a few hours. So if you could send me, you have 3 more hours to send me your homework. And then we're going to announce the winner. One person will get Wealth Fountain. One person will get Bottomless Bank Account. You have 3 more hours to submit your homework, and then we will announce the winners after. But it will be today. Okay. And these are the 2 programs. In Wealth Fountain, we go like you do have live coaching. You implement every step while I coach you. In Bottomless Bank Account, it's 222, where you get instant access to all of that. So I would love to see you, and I would, and it's such an incredible experience to lead this, and I'm so excited. And have a wonderful time. And I'll see you on the internet. Thank you.